testing Gallery Mungyo Watercolor Crayons.
Yay, material test time! I love it.
And I'm really excited for this one. I got this for Christmas. I never heard about them. And when I saw they were watercolor crayons, I thought Caran D'Aches Neocolor II's material. Of course, I'm not expecting that quality. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have the Caran D'Aches and I love them. I know they're top quality, and I guess every single artist in the world loves them. So I'm not expecting these to be the same quality. But maybe they are. I don't know, let's test them. It's a 24 color set. I like the range of the colors. They have the main colors they should have, I guess. And I started by swatching them, as I always do with any new material I got. Right there, I noticed they're not as soft as the Caran D'Aches. And I'm sorry, this wasn't supposed to be a comparing video, but I can't help it because the reference I have on this material is from Caran D'Aches. But I know that's tough to beat. They're not as soft, they didn't lay so well on the paper, but they felt good anyway, and they have these bright colors. So far I'm happy with it. Then by adding water to it, I found they're very pigmented. They water down really good and really easy, which is great. And they keep their pigments. I mean, they keep their bright colors. So far, I'm really thrilled with them. And I'm thinking, maybe they're just as good as the Caran D'Aches. Could it be? So now I'm swatching all the colors side by side and adding water to it, and you can see how easy the pigments dissolve. Then I went for a rainbow kind of layout. I stressed my paper a lot there on the darker colors. It's not the material's fault. This is not a watercolor paper. It's I think 120 gram paper, which is not suitable for watercolor. I don't know why I did this in this paper. I wasn't really thinking, I guess. But hey, I can see they have really bright colors. They dissolve really quick and easy. Then I made kind of a color wheel to see what kind of mixtures I could accomplish with them. I don't think they mix really well, but I got some great colors. I really love it. So far so good. Thumbs up for this material. Then I thought it would be good to do the same with Caran D'Aches Neocolor II, because I don't think I have done this in a long time. So I've used them, of course, but I didn't do these same tests with it. So I grabbed them, I grabbed the same paper, and there I am, watering down the pigments. They're really soft. They dissolve really easy and great looking, as you can see. The light blue and light green are the ones that I'm not so happy with because they're not so pigmented, but they're great anyway. I have less colors in this set than I have on my gallery one. This has only 10 colors. So I don't have the primary colors exactly. Well, instead of magenta, I used red, and the resulting mixed colors are not exactly the same, which I was expecting already. And to see how they mix, I think they mix a little bit better than the gallery ones, but not so good. I mean, I think this material is not for mixing colors like a normal watercolor. So I went for another test, which is mixing the pigments dry and then watering them to see what the color mix would be. And there, yeah, I got an excellent result. I really got new colors out of them. So I did the same with the gallery ones because I didn't do that test previously. I just came up with it now. I got brighter colors, but that's just because I had magenta in the mix. You know, with the Caran D'Aches I only had red, which is not a primary color. So here, close-ups of the testing. You can see they're fairly similar to the gallery ones. All the colors, the rainbow, and the color wheel. Both side by side. I think they are both fairly good. Then I thought about testing these new Gallery watercolor crayons on a drawing. because that's really where you see how to control the material, how to use it. And I made another mistake that I didn't know yet, which was using my homemade mixed media sketchbook. That's not a real mixed media, well, a proper mixed media, as you can call it, sketchbook, because this one was made from a brochure and painted over with acrylic paints, with wall paints, whatever I could find. I call it mixed media sketchbooks because, well, there are several mediums in that, so it is literally mixed media. And I normally use on them a lot of medias, like collages, watercolor, acrylic paints, crayons, colored pencils, everything really. So I call it my mixed media sketchbook. It's homemade. If you want to see how I made it, there's a video about it here in the channel. You just have to look for a mixed media sketchbook and you'll see how I made this. I think that's a great sketchbook anyway, but I don't think it was the perfect choice for this. I should have tested these materials in watercolor paper. So at first I laid my base color with watercolors. You see how they stayed on top of the paper and didn't sink into it. So there you have a clue how this paper performs different than a watercolor paper. And then I kept it fairly wet so I could lay my crayons on top of it and see how they would behave. I liked it anyway because I could see once more that they dissolve really easy, which I think is great. And then I struggled with the color of the dress because really I was aiming for testing all the colors, and sometimes that just creates a mess, you know. That is really what's happening here. Then this paper really annoyed me. It's a little bit water repellent, let's say it. The watercolor didn't stay on it. I could lift it all up by adding more water to it. So I didn't get the effect I wanted by layering colors, because I was constantly lifting up all the pigments that I had put before. So I got really careful with it, and I could manage them to stay in the paper a little bit more. But there's also a high point on this, because I could see that I could mix the colors after, you know, change the colors. It's not like in watercolor paper that you put down a layer and then you can add other layers, but you cannot erase that one that is underneath it. In here you can do that because the paper, as I said, doesn't take the paint permanently. It's kind of a water resistant paper because of the paint I have underneath it, that I think it's acrylics. So I could do that in here. It was a bit of the bummer because I didn't want that at first, but then I got to correct the color I wanted, so it turned out to be good. And I experimented with these crayons, dissolving them or just using them as crayons really. And I love this mixture. It adds a lot of texture to the work, and I love that. And I just have to add some more water to make it really soft. So I think it's the best of both worlds. You can get a really even layer, or you can create lots of texture. At this point I thought I was finished with it, but I wasn't really happy still with the girl's dress. There was something missing, some more texture probably. So I grabbed my Caran D'Aches watercolor pencils. I chose a bunch of colors that I thought would be good for this. And what I have in that little green bowl is some water. You can't see in the video, but it has a little bit of water. And I'm wetting the crayons before I go into my paper, so the colors stay brighter. So I added some flowers. Really, I didn't know really what I was doing. I was just creating more texture. Really, I didn't know what to do more, so I kept adding flowers to her dress and hoped for the better. And then I started liking it. For the first time in this drawing, I started liking a little bit her dress. I don't know what your thoughts are towards it. Please, if you want to share them with me, you can leave me a comment. And after that I just used regular color pencils to add some shadows, because once more with my Caran D'Aches I didn't have all the colors. I think I had 18 colors, so I needed some other colors to add here. And finally I finished it. I consider it finished. Here are some details. I like it. At the time I didn't love it. Now more or less I can say that I love it, but I love the texture in the background. Can you see the textures that I got from here? That's because the pigment moved, because the paper did not absorb it properly, so they laid on top of the paper and they moved a little bit, and I really love that.
Hello again, this is Future Me, and since I've made this painting to test out these materials, I made this other one. I struggled with it also, but I think I felt a little bit more comfortable with it. In the end, I made some details with oil pastels, like for instance this sky. I lightened it with white oil pastel over the watercolor crayon, and in here also I think I used, in here I don't think I used the oil pastels. I think I made the base watering down the crayons and then went over them with the crayons like they were just wax crayons with the darker green, and then I scraped it off. As you can see, the texture, I'm really pleased with it. Gave the ground a lot of texture and a lot of mixed colors, and the underneath colors showed up, and I'm really happy with it. This one went a lot better than the last one, and I guess that's part of the process of learning a new material. You start getting used to it and discovering how to use it and how you like to use it and how you don't like to use it. And here's the result. I'm still learning it. I don't know if I love it, but the Caran D'Aches are still the best ones in my opinion. And so that's it for this video. I hope you like it. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you have tested these materials, if you like using them. I want to know your experiences. Let's trade experiences, that's how we learn. Thanks for watching till the end. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you again in my next videos. Until then, I wish you all the best, and bye bye for now.